Previously on Sugoi Supergirl.
So for this HM, I've got 9 families of cheeses, 9 lit princesses, and 3 types of alcohol that go great with cheese. And I'm ready to fucking party. The gross boys, the stinky sissies, the in-your-face fathers, your mottled mommies. Pun intended, washed rind cheeses are kind of the butt of the joke of the cheese world. They're what you kind of get when you make the cheese jokes of like, oh God, what a stinky cheese. Jesus Christ, I smell it down the street. These horrible, ugly little bastards fucking reek and really don't look as appetizing. But they hide an incredible secret in here, let me tell you. Mulan's gonna help me with this one because she's pretty powerful herself, and this thing is pretty fucking powerful, so pretty good little association there if you ask me. They hide the illest treat at their core. Essentially, the rinds get soaked in brine. It's made similarly to a style in bloomy rind cheese land, but instead of just letting the cheeses ripen and bloom and have the bacteria on the outside, they actually wash. This thing smells so good, which means I know it's going to be awesome inside. Then they kind of move on to some weirder formulas. This Willoughby has a brine only, but you've got cheeses that have been washed in Commanderia wine. You've got cheeses that have been washed in Terminus Brewing Company porter, which is actually local and near and dear to my heart. You have these incredible cheeses that are soaked in wine or washed with, like, I don't know, red wine vinegars. This is really cool stuff. Oh my God, do bacteria love that shit. The moisture, the growth, bacteria are like straight up dabbing on the surface of this fucking thing. This is the Willoughby from Jasper Hill Farms. I don't know if we went over this Shuzo KID Junmai. Oh boy. This sucker's from the Wakayama Prefecture. It's a Junmai Ginjo, which means it's had at least 60% of its shit milled. And this might be the perfect cheese sake. That's crazy. Somehow that still has acidity, and it's slightly off-dry, so you've got a couple of similar things going on with these wines. Like I said about the off-dry thing, really does some stinky cheeses justice, but it's so good. A little melon, maybe a little bit of crispness, but almost kind of a nice lush mouthfeel, very round, very pleasant, especially chilled down. I don't know, y'all think you could heat this shit up. I don't think there's any problem with that. That thing is good. Oh boy, moving on to the Willoughby. Remember me saying that underneath the surface of these guys lies a treat? Are you fucking kidding me? Ooh, sticky. This is the beauty of a washed rind cheese. If you age these cheeses too much, they will straight up liquefy. They will go into kind of a silent hibernation and just fucking ooze out. They really ooze out, and
very soon, the most horrifying monster menace ever conceived will be oozing into this theater.
They really just liquefy. It's glorious. So you can imagine spreading this on a cracker at a nice afternoon and just going to town on it like that, just plain by itself. In fact, tastes like peanut butter and barnyard and sweet cream. And it has, I would say, just a little bit of funk. And if you let that bacteria on the outside grow out of control, you lose that nice barnyardiness and those nice subtleties and nuances, and you head straight into proliferating out of control cat piss and vomit, and it's terrible, and you missed, you failed, go home, 3 strikes, throw that cheese in the garbage. But if you can get a cheese in that sweet spot, you are essentially guaranteed the best product with an infinite goopy amount of possibilities. If you need to mitigate that ammoniated flavor and smell, or if you're having trouble with the rinds on these cheeses, I don't want you to miss out on this awesome paste inside. So you can do a couple of things that I did, getting myself kind of ready to eat this kind of cheese. It's the same way I get ready to eat natural wine. Eat natural wine. Keep powering through them. until the bite is just no longer there. That's how I have to drink liquor sometimes. That's how I learned how to drink Amaro. You just keep eating it until you no longer notice how awful it is and start understanding the nuances of the smell. You can throw that motherfucker in a cast iron. I know I saw it called Grillaby at one point, which is absolutely slick as hell. Throw this thing in a cast iron on a grill and melt it down with some figs, maple syrup, a little honeycomb, some sage. Or, you know what? If the rind bothers you that much, just fucking cut it off and enjoy the cheese inside. Just peel that fucking thing off the top like Superman peeling the top off of a car. I mean, who held a gun to your head and told you had to eat it? Just enjoy what's inside. Fucking throw it away. Science. So you've seen the versatility of cheeses. Now, I think we're ready to graduate to the variety of cheeses, which is personally my favorite thing about cheese. I absolutely love that there's so many of them. There's no way any human can eat every single cheese on this planet, especially because they got that cheese in Sicily that be got the maggots in it and shit. I ain't doing that. No thank you. That's the only time I will ever say that the FDA has done something right. So we move on to uncooked pressed cheeses. We all really know them, we just might not realize it. They come in a bunch of different styles, colors, and names, and some names you might know. Morbier has that sexy little whale tail of ash peeking out underneath it. Manchego has that gorgeous, cute little oily face. Sometimes it gets mashed up with winter truffles, which literally, like, empirically can't be bad. You cannot hate something unless you hate truffles. You can't hate something that's been mashed up with winter truffles. Produced pretty much anywhere you can think of, and as far as I know, using about every single brand or breed of cow. Some of them come with a lifetime warranty. That's what I like to call the DOP, PDO situation. I just call that cheese with a fucking 500,000 year plan. They protect that shit pretty closely. This is also where that $5 word tome or toma comes from. This is just a fucking, pretty much a Latin word for that good shit they make out there in the pasture. That's all you gotta know. Pasture. I hardly know her. So yeah, it's a pretty large category. We already kind of knew that. But can science explain this segue? If I'm gonna talk about our next family, which is cooked pressed cheeses. Cooked pressed cheeses? Cooked pressed cheeses? Yeah, I know I'm a fucking genius. I'm gonna have to get a little bit cooked myself. You ready to cook, Tiana? Knock, knock! Esters again. Absolutely destroying any chance of you fuckers only pairing cheese with wine. This is an American-style Japanese whiskey? No. Switch that. A Japanese-style American whiskey. This guy's the St. George Baller from St. George Distillery. And they pretty much named it the Baller because they wanted it to be like the whiskey that you use in a highball. And yes, you can at that $45 price point I got this motherfucker for. Here's the reason that it goes so well with cheese and the reason I'm drinking it today. This has some of those similar aging esters and compounds that you would find in, I don't know, wine or sake. So, oh yeah. Oh boy, isn't that great. It's got a little bit of a smoky quality on the end. I actually think I have the perfect cheese to pair with it too. It has this great smoky quality. It's got about a 3-year age on it, so it's not too hot, not too cold. No. It's been aged in French oak. It's been aged in umeshu barrels, which gives it this wonderful appley, apricot-y kind of flavor to it. And it also did a little time in bourbon barrels, which kind of, in my opinion, mitigates some of that harsh 100% malt flavor that they use to make this thing. It's really exceptional. If you have not tried something this unique, it actually is a unique whiskey that lives up to its name. Comté, Gruyere, Parmesan, no Reggiano, and my favorite little cantaloupe-ass looking motherfucker, Mimolette. This is a perfect example of a cooked pressed cheese. This one happens to be 13 months old, which makes me 13 months pregnant over it. Interpret that as you will. This kind of cheese is absolutely one of my favorites to put on a cheese board. Comes apart like a dream. Oh yeah, that made my mouth cry just a little bit. Large and in charge, these huge formatted cheeses are the kinds of cheese you'd pretty much see in one of them bullshit little misleading fairy tales where the heroine folds the little wedge of cheese up in a suspiciously untattered rag and then puts a heel of baguette in there and, I don't know, some suspiciously unrotten grapes. Ironically, that shit would be called a grazing bundle today, and it would cost 40 motherfucking dollars. The huge format of these cheeses, back in the day, allowed them to essentially last longer than Aretha Franklin, age like Cher, and punch that mouth like Solange. They get these radical little tyrosine crystals that kind of form around the sodium glutamate particles in there. Pretty much pockets of flavor that make your salivary glands weep. So if you decry Asian foods because they make you sick, but you can still have the energy to fuck up a bag of dried fruit, or eat a whole tomato sandwich, or eat that wheel of Parmesan like I know you're gonna do at 4 a.m. after your breakup. Next, my persona. If she and Tiana could be smashed into one character, with Belle, she'd be me. Next, I'm looking at, as you can see, stringy cheeses. Also called pasta filata. There's one cheese in this family that unequivocally fucks. And that is bufala mozzarella. Specifically from Campania, which is frequently and shittily copied and ripped off. Pretty much most bufala mozzarellas are the Sheins of the high fashion world. Totally awful. Not the same impact on the environment, but we're not going to talk about that right now. Like many other cheeses and garbled apologies from disgraced YouTubers, pasta filata cheeses are sheer mistakes. And unlike those full tubers, those oopsies resulted in delicious and robust cheeses that monks... It has to be monks. Of course it's fucking monks. I swear to God. And so did they. Oh, jeez. Could hand shape. I mean, if you ask me, they should have been more concerned with shaping the cheese than trying to shape other cultures, but, you know. Veggies and fruit and nice lean meat go so well with this cheese because this cheese is usually so full of delicious young fat. It just coats everything and it just kind of coats everything, pairs with everything, is completely neutral, and has this awesome texture. They ain't stinky, they ain't pliable, and they ain't half bad, fam. Moving on! I know this is a long video, but you will be so happy you stuck till the end, I guess. Flavored cheeses. They're just that. They're flavored. Insert whatever pussy flavor joke you want. I almost said jerk. That's great. Sometimes the flavoring is to hide embarrassingly shitty industrial milk from consumers, which don't like that. Although sometimes it's made with whatever you have to enhance the cheese. Kind of like this Wensleydale with cranberries that I keep seeing at every single store that I did a little research on. Apparently, the cranberries just grow really well where Wensleydale is made, so why not enhance the cheese with something that you're really passionate about? It also gives it a really great flavor, a great texture, and we're not gonna forget about cheeses like this Barely Buzzed from Beehive Creamery, or one of my favorite spreadable fresh cheeses, which is the Purple Haze from Cypress Grove. It's got this great lavender thing going on. I just love it. With these kind of cheeses, really, it's less of a family and more of a style, but the sky's the limit with these. Unless you're a billionaire with a dick rocket. All right, it's time to get serious. It's time to get a little bit real. Blue-veined cheeses. All right, sit down. This is cheese in Sorcerer Supreme mode. No shit. Blue cheeses scare folks because from a young age we've been made to understand that weird blue-gray, bad. No, not okay. We can see the mold, spooky off color, not gonna work. And that's fine. That's actually a really okay evolutionary trait that we developed. But even though I don't blame you for that, if you still are bothered by it, please do me a favor and take a Xanax before you go into a Purdue chicken factory, or maybe look at a kombucha scoby, because oh boy, you think the blue cheese is bad, wait till you see some other shit in the food world. Whew. Once you've banished that feeling of ugh, no thanks, and start looking at blue cheese as this awesome, nice gamer girl on YouTube that really puts herself out there and wants to show her true passionate side instead of being a shitty keyboard warrior on 4chan or Reddit or whatever outlet you're using to put your frustrations onto other people. Be like this girl. Be like blue cheese. Once you do that, a world of flavors awaits you. Your own little ice palace of insanely good cheeses is out there. And you just gotta almost kill your whole family and break it off and run up the side of a mountain while you leave your house in shambles and your people without a leader, and just go do your blue cheese thing, girl. Go let it go. I can't. I hate that song. I fucking hate that song, but I respect who she is. She's selfish and shit. Anyway. So like Elsa, these cheeses are misunderstood, they're mistrusted. They're scary to some people at first who don't know them, who don't understand what's going on, but they hide a beautiful, powerful secret inside of them. They are incredible. Creamy, crumbly, spicy, pasty, mild. Some have rinds, some are brie style. It just all has to do with that injection of the mold into the paste, and then from there a beautiful, incredible, enchanted forest of bacteria can just enhance that cheese with I get some like almost natty wine flavors from some of these cheeses, and it's almost as exciting as drinking natural wines because you're drinking something made by the earth and made by really talented human hands. How is that not fucking raw? Thank you, nature. I am not worthy. I'm not worthy of you and your bacterial prowess. And then finally, in conclusion to this insane HM, where a drunk 30-year-old woman screams at you about the different types of slightly aged cow milk. Or whatever milk. I've got kind of a weird one for you. I have a dark horse. I have a faux fromage that pretty much dances to the wave of her own ocean. So to pair with the probably best Disney movie that has come out in the last 10 years, I think we're gonna go something a little bit weird. We're gonna do it. I think we're gonna do it. Let's do it. This will be really great. Watch. Whey cheeses. These cheeses actually are liquid garbage, but they're liquid garbage with a 5-year plan. These cheeses are made from places where a hoe couldn't do shit if she ran out of food. You would fucking die. I don't know. Norway. That Norwegian cheese that I'm talking about is called Gettosk. Sometimes it's called brunost, and that's an easier one to say, so I'm going to say it like that. Today, brunost could be considered pretty special because it's caramelized whey. Like, it's caramelized milk, essentially. It's the dulce de leche of cheeses, except that there's no sugar in it, which is pretty sick. Oh, look at that color. I love this shit. This is like peanut butter if peanut butter didn't have such a fucking attitude and also didn't have any nutrition. This is the Ski Queen, for one thing, so literally how can you not want to try something called the Ski Queen? Even though now I'm realizing that Elsa should have been paired with it, but we're not going to do that today. This shit is so good, it could invite Nutella into the octagon and go 10 rounds with that overhyped little jackass. All night. Till the bell rings. Spread this shit on pumpernickel with lingonberry jam. Maybe, I don't know, use this shit in baking. Use this shit in a Basque cheesecake. Branch out there, spread out. You know what? Make this into a cheesecake. I dare my thirsty thoughts. I'm going to share it with me on your Instagrams. Tag Sugoi Supergirl. Explore. Stop thinking you're going to look stupid if you ask questions at the cheese counter. I don't have the internal RAM to remember every single little fucking nitpicky deal I ever learned about dairy. However, that is what cheesemongers' jobs are. That is what we do. That's what we kind of spread around, is this awesome message of the types, the way to eat them, what to pair with them, how they're made, all that fun shit. Let me just be clear. If a monger ever treats you like that, send them my way. I just want to talk, just a little bit. With punctuation. Nobody should ever be treating you like a burden for asking you shit. It's your job. Get over it. Get your ass up and go start helping some people eat some good cheese. Go forth, princesses and gamers and weebs and everyone in between. Drinkers, eaters, start giving two fucks about cheese. I love it so much that I'm willing to sit here in front of you with a bunch of my favorite Disney princesses just so I can spread the holy word of this absolutely amazing product that, I don't know, we've been eating for 10,000 years. Tell me what you like to eat from the dairy world in the comments. I'm courteous. Curious as to what cheeses you guys eat. I said courteous. Food, booze, pop culture. It's the best part of being human. Hit that subscribe button if you agree.